Welcome to Believer's Talk with Joe and Steve. I'll be your host. My name's Joe, and we want to continue with our position breakdown, going position by position prior to training camp, which comes actually this Wednesday. I thought it was Thursday originally. This Wednesday is the start of training camp, so we'll try to get those last videos out to you Wednesday. If we don't, we'll push it to Thursday since that was our schedule. But we'll do our best. We'll do what we can. Today, however, we want to talk about the tight end position. We have moved from defense to offense, doing wide receivers yesterday. Today, we want to work on the tight end position, which is a very good coincidence today because today we did try out a tight end. We tried out Clay Harbor, free agent tight end. He's been with a few teams. I think he started with the Eagles. He's tight end. This is his 9th season from Illinois, and he's been around. Now, last year he got hurt, so he missed all of 2017. But in his career, you look at basically 7 seasons, right? Because he was out last year. He's played 98 games where he's had 114 receptions for 1,170 yards and 8 touchdowns. So he's been around, and he seems like someone who you can definitely add to a depth chart. So we look forward to that. Now, in all the previous videos, what I've done is I've looked at how many spots we used on our roster in 2017 for that position, and I said, this is how many we'll use this year. Now, again, that can absolutely change, but I don't want to assume anything like that. So last year we used 4 tight ends in our depth chart, and this year we'll probably do about the same. So we're going to stick to 4 tight ends, even though currently on our roster we do have 6. Clay Harbor would be the 7th if we do decide to add him before the start of training camp. We'll see what happens. But of our 6, we all know obviously who our starter is, and that's Charles Clay, right? Charles Clay started his career with the Dolphins after 4 seasons with the Dolphins. The Bills signed him to what I've said on here and what I still believe and always believed was an outrageous contract. His contract was 5 years, $38 million. That was signed in 2015. If you look at the tight end position, that's a lot of money for a tight end, but it's not necessarily just the money. It's the guaranteed money. So he's making about $2 million less than Gronkowski is this year, and I don't think it's that close. He's making $1 million less than Travis Kelce this year. I don't think it's that close, but they're only guaranteed about 30% of their contract, where Charles Clay is guaranteed 65% of his contract. That's just an outrageous number, I mean, obviously the NFL is getting closer and closer to the point of fully guaranteed contracts, which will be an issue that will be discussed when they go to discuss the new CBA. But they're not there, and you're talking about 2015; they were even further away than they are now. So. I don't know. I just thought that was a lot of money personally to be given to a tight end. And he hasn't been bad, right? Like I really have liked Charles Clay at times. I feel like the injury bug hits him here and there. Now, when I say injury bug, though, it seems like he's only out for like a game or 2 or misses plays. But that still does happen. So we like Charles Clay. We want to see more out of him. Last year, he had 49 receptions, 558 yards, and 2 touchdowns. If you look at our wide receivers, like I said in our last video, that's actually pretty good. I wish we had a wide receiver that did that last year. But we do want more productivity. If we are going to pay him, I think he's due to make $7 million this year, something like that. If we're paying him that much, we want production. And we'll see what happens, because the 2 guys right behind him I thought really showed great improvement last year, and I actually want to see more from them this season. We're talking about Nick O'Leary and Logan Thomas. We'll get to them in a second, but I do want to kind of go in alphabetical order because I'll lose my spot easily. So I want to do it this way. Jason Kroom would be our 2nd guy on our depth chart. This is going to be his 2nd season. He's from Tennessee. Now, he didn't play last year for the Bills. He did spend the whole season on the practice squad, so I don't see him making much improvement, but I don't see him play every day, and we'll see what happens. But again, I see other players who have stepped into those roles. Curry Lee, this is going to be his 4th season from Bowie State. That's right, Bowie State, not Boise State. When I first saw that, I was like, did they make a mistake? But I looked up. Bowie State's a real school, and that's where he's from. He made the active roster last year, but he only played in 47 offensive snaps. So he didn't see much time, and in that time, the ball was never thrown his way. So he's definitely more of a. It seems like he's more of a blocking tight end, which you need as well. I mean, I'm not making fun of or discounting the blocking tight ends. We need those, especially in an offense that runs like the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills definitely want to run first offense, and for that we would need blocking tight ends. Not sure how that's going to work now with a more pocket passer, right? Last year, Tyrod Taylor definitely more mobility. So I'm not sure if we're going to need to have that blocking tight end in as much to block that extra guy coming in. Maybe do some more 3-step drops, 5-step drops, whatever makes the quarterback comfortable. So we'll see if he gets on the team again this year. I'm not sure, especially if we sign Clay Harbor, that definitely leaves that spot kind of open as far as who the fourth guy is going to be. Down the list we go. We have Nick O'Leary. This is gonna be his third season from Florida State. Nick O'Leary played pretty well last year. I was pretty impressed, except for on that Thursday night game with the Jets where he had that big fumble where he fell to the ground, made the catch. I don't know if he thought it was touched or not, but he didn't get up right away. Got up, started to run. The moment he started running, got hit. Ball came out. Really, just a really confusing play. I always get mad when a player goes down and is not touched, and then gets back up and when there's that confusion of was I touched, was not. You should know if you're touched, and if you're touched and you keep running, the whistle's gonna blow. And so at that point, you stop running. I don't understand. We've seen it multiple times, not just with the Bills, but with other teams too. Either stay down till you know you're touched or you hear the whistle, or if you get up and don't hear a whistle, keep running. This isn't college anymore, and these players need to get ready for that, especially since that last year wasn't your rookie season. It was your second year. Sure, you're still a young player, but that's something you need to be ready for. So Nick O'Leary's there, but then the next guy would be He's probably my favorite tight end of the bunch, but I know he'd be second in the depth chart, is Logan Thomas. This is his fourth season from Virginia Tech. Played in 12 games for us last year, started 2. I believe the 2 where Charles Clay did not play. These are the 2 that he started. Only had the 1 touchdown catch. It was against Tampa Bay. But it was a great play, and I just feel like he had a good season. Some improvement was shown on his part. Some big catches. There was one catch, I can't remember the team anymore. It might have been in the Tampa Bay game again, where he caught a ball on the sideline. Tyrod scrambled, and he caught a ball, got both feet in. I thought it was a very good play. So I would like to see more from him. Maybe some more playing time. Maybe use those 2 tight end sets. The Patriots with Hernandez and Gronk made that famous, right? And now if we could find 2 tight ends that complement each other, maybe Clay and Thomas, that'd be great. So Hernandez and Gronk, right. I got them all right, I think. But anyway, so then we have Logan Thomas, and then next on the depth chart we have Keith Towbridge, or maybe not depth chart, but alphabetically, we have Keith Towbridge. This is his second season. He was on the Bills reserved list last year. You have that reserve future contract, which I talked about in a previous episode, and he was signed to that, so he was on that reserve list. So he'll get some more playing time in training camp preseason this year, and we'll see if we add him to the roster. You add that with Clay Harbor, again, 9th season, 98 games, 114 receptions. Be interesting to see if we bring him on. I do believe if we bring him on, that would question if Lee makes the active roster again. So last year we had 4. We had Charles Clay, Nick O'Leary, Logan Thomas, and Kerry Lee. And so this year, if we're going to do 4, obviously Charles Clay is going to still be there. Both Nick O'Leary and Logan Thomas signed 1-year contracts during the offseason, so I think they'll both be there. If I had to question which one of those 2 was less likely, so let's say Charles Clay, absolutely he's going to be there. We pay him too much money, and he's been too productive to not have him on the team. When I talk about Charles Clay's contract, and I talk about if I like him or not, it's not necessarily his productivity. If we're paying him an average tight end salary, and these were the numbers, the 49 for 558 and 2 touchdowns, those were the numbers he was giving us. I have more leeway to say, yeah, those are pretty good. But with the numbers we're paying him, I feel like there should be more towards like the 60 receptions range. And again, last year he only played in 13 games, so maybe you give him those 3 extra games. Does he get close to that 60? But that goes into the money thing too. If we're paying you that money, I want you playing for all 16 games. But after Charles Clay, who would be guaranteed to make the roster, I'd probably go with Logan Thomas. And again, it might be because I like him more, might be because he's shown more productivity. I don't know. Maybe and maybe I'm still mad at Nick Leary for that fumble. I don't know. But then Nick Leary would be the guy that's kind of, if you were going to question which one of those two was going to be on the team, Nick Leary would be the guy that I'd question. But I still think he's going to be on the active roster because you do need more than 2 tight ends on your active roster. Whether we have the 4th or not, I'm not sure. It really depends on how willing the tight ends are to play special teams, which a lot of your backup tight ends do play. So I'm not sure exactly how much Lee played in the special teams last year. Maybe one of you can tell me that. But I do see both Nick Leary and Logan Thomas making the team, and I do see Kyrie Lee making the team again, unless we do sign Clay Harbor. If we sign Clay Harbor, I think he will surpass Kyrie Lee. So my 4 would then be Charles Clay, Logan Thomas, Nick Leary, and Clay Harbor. So that's kind of where I see our 4 tight ends this year. If I were to grade it, I'm not a fan. Like I said, I'm not a fan of our tight ends too much. And with the offense we had last year, I think we ranked 29th in passing offense last year. I said in the last video where we were. 29th in passing offense does not give you a lot of hope. Although we do have a new quarterback, everything can be different this year. We don't know, but we do know the productivity we got from the tight end position last year wasn't what you want out of your tight end position. So I'm gonna have to go with a C- for our tight ends as well. I think that's what gave our wide receiving core. But yeah, I'd have to go with a C- for the tight ends. Hopefully I'm proven wrong. Hopefully the new quarterback can find some more openings for these guys and get them open. So we'll see. But that's all we have here for you today on Believers Talk. If you haven't already subscribed, please be sure to do so. We are breaking down every position, and we're trying to get them out before training camp. Again, training camp actually starts Wednesday. I thought it was Thursday. Thursday was the plan for the QB episode, so maybe we'll get Josh Allen signed before then, and I can do an update on that. Let's hope. I'm getting to that point now where training camp's beginning. We really Saquon Barkley just signed, so more players are signing from the first round draft picks. We really want to get Josh Allen signed, but he'll be at training camp, so I'm not too worried about that. McCoy will be at training camp, we learned today, so that's exciting. Obviously that investigation is still going on, but we'll see what happens with that. But news of the day, we tried out Clay Harbor at the tight end spot, and then I gave you our tight end breakdown. So if you have not already subscribed to Believers Talk, be sure to do that. We will be covering all positions, only a few more to go here, and then 49 days to the opening kickoff. So we look forward to that. We will have you covered right here on Believers Talk, whether it be training camp, preseason, regular season, postseason. Right here on Believers Talk, we'll have you covered. So subscribe, like or dislike this video, comment, and we'll get back to you. And we are on Facebook and Twitter, so follow and like us on there as well. But till next time, go Bills.